Welcome to BaseballGuys.com. I'm your host on Around the Horn, Ray Flowers. The Houston Astros. Why does anyone care? Well, I don't even think the people in Houston necessarily care. The team's got the worst record in baseball. But they've got a shining star, at least for the moment, on the hill. And that's Harrell. Now, Harrell, in his last 10 starts, has a 2.23 ERA. Phenomenal pitching. The last 7 times he's taken the hill, 2 earned runs or less. Remarkable consistency. Is he that pitcher? No, he's not that pitcher. He's got a 3.81 ERA and a 1.33 whip on the season. And those are numbers that are indicative of the type of hurler that Harrell is. Why do I say that? I say that because of the fact that his main goal on offense, or his main goal is to get the offense to beat the ball into the ground. 55% ground ball rate is a very impressive mark. Think Kyle Loesch, think Jake Westbrook. He's that type of pitcher. He's not the dominating force that we've seen for the past couple of months, especially when you consider that strikeout to walk ratio is well below 2-to-1. Harrell's going well. He's an excellent play right now in NL only. Mixed leaguers, you can take a shot because he's been consistently good for a couple of months now. Just keep those eyes wide open and realize you're not getting a superstar despite the numbers that he's posted his last 10 outings. Nick Swisher, he's not a superstar either. He's very good. He's very consistent, and he's a big-time run producer for the New York Yankees. Now, he's been struggling a bit after a really hot start to the year. A lot of people getting worried about Nick Swisher, saying, what's wrong with Nick Swisher? When's it going to turn around? Well, it turned around of late. Last week of action, he's got 9 hits. 2 of those hits have been home runs. He's knocked in 10 runs. You look up, and right now, what's he on pace for? He's on pace to hit in the 260s with 20 home runs, 89 RBIs, 70 runs scored, a traditional Nick Swisher season. He's one of the most consistent guys out there. When it's all said and done, barring an injury, the numbers will be there with Swisher. The only negative with Swisher is that right now he's only played 6 games at first base. So going into 2013, he's only going to qualify at outfield, in the vast majority of leagues, and even those that require 10 games, he may or may not get there, so keep a close eye on Nick Swisher. Swisher's teammate, Hiroki Kuroda, was supposed to come to the American League from the National League and have all kinds of struggles because of the league shift, because he was going from a good pitcher's park to a bad pitcher's park. Hasn't happened at all for Hiroki Kuroda. Kuroda went out last night, 9 innings shutout, continuing his dominance. He's almost dropped his ERA into the 2s. It's below 3.1 right now. His whip is below 1.1. He's been fantastic. In fact, his ERA and whip look very, very similar to last season when he was with the Dodgers. In fact, they're almost identical. Hasn't seen any shift at all, which is pretty surprising, I must admit. He's been especially dominating Kuroda at home this year. He's gone 8-4. His ERA is in the 2s at home, and his whip is below 1. Wouldn't have predicted that, given the ball yard there favoring offense in New York. Kuroda has been everything the Yankees could have hoped for, and everyone that took a chance on Kuroda because they were a little nervous, he slid a little bit in drafts, you've got a major payoff for the right-handed hurler. Josh Johnson, another right-handed hurler, came into the season. A little bit of uncertainty there. An excellent pitcher when healthy. Was he going to be healthy? Was he going to be able to take the ball? Where was he at? How was that shoulder? Well, he started out very slowly, and people got nervous. They panicked. A lot of people made moves with Josh Johnson. He's really righted the ship of late, and you may not have noticed that, but he has. Last 7 outings, he's only gone 2-4, so you're like, Ray, what are you talking about? Well, the ERA and the whip, those are great numbers. The ERA in the 2s, the whip barely, actually it's just under 1, 0.99. Not just that, a strikeout an inning in his last 7 starts, a 4.4 strikeout to walk ratio in those 7 starts. Josh Johnson has really rounded into form. He's pitching about as well as ever the past couple of months. If you haven't noticed, Josh Johnson looks like the Josh Johnson of old. Troy Tulowitzki, he's the Troy Tulowitzki of the present and of the old. What does that mean? He's highly skilled and he's hurt. He's got the groin injury. He's out. He's doing baseball-related activities. He and the team both believe he will be back at some point in September to rejoin the Rockies, get a little bit of a good feeling built up for the 2013 season. I would still exercise some caution with Tulowitzki for one simple fact. The Rockies suck. They suck eggs. They're 19.5 games behind the Dodgers and the Giants. They've got no shot at doing anything other than being the worst team in baseball. The Astros currently have that moniker, and obviously the Rockies don't want to have that. But there's no reason for the Rockies to rush back to one of the 2 guys that are the foundational building blocks. They will obviously being Carlos Gonzalez. Tulowitzki probably will be back in September, but the team is going to take a measured and slow approach. If he has any kind of setback, I wouldn't be shocked if they decided to shut him down for the 2012 season. Oh, and by the way, Michael Cuddyer out with an oblique issue. He's doing some work in the minor league. He's hopeful of returning on Thursday. So good news there if you're a Cuddyer owner. Michael Young, good news and bad news with Michael Young. in the 260s, the batting average, the OPS in the 600s. It's been a bad season for Michael Young. He's only gone deep 3 times. He's gone 84 games without a home run. I mean, I know he's not a home run hitter, but that's dreadful. He just hasn't been the hitter he's been for the past decade plus for the Rangers. Mike Olt was brought up. Olt has done a very good job in limited playing time. It looks like he's going to continue to get limited playing time. Manager Ron Washington says Mike Young, at least for now, is still his guy. He will still be the one out there on the majority of games. Look for Young to pick it up. I can't envision him being this bad the rest of the way. Doesn't mean I'm expecting a 330 finish with power, but I would expect that batting average to creep up, even if the batting average doesn't. And then finally, I don't normally do this here at BaseballGuys.com, but I'm at a link to the article today for one of the pieces that I've written for a different website for Fantasy Alarm. Why am I doing that? It's to talk about splits and expectations. We're hearing a lot of talk now, we're in the month of August, we're in the month of September. Mike Moustakas last year was great in September as an example, so I got to pick up Mike Moustakas. I would hesitate to tell anyone to pick up any player because they've quote-unquote had a strong finish the previous year, or they quote-unquote are good in September. Read the article. You get a little bit more understanding of why I'm reluctant to use those numbers as a surefire measuring block when talking about players and what to expect for the rest of the season. I'm Ray Flowers, BaseballGuys.com. Thanks for joining me on Around the Horn. I will, as always, talk to y'all again soon.